Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. So, I just made a drawing of a camel. You all already know that I am very good at drawing. You already see most of my drawings in the classroom on the blackboard. So, you already are aware that I'm good at drawing. And so, I drew a camel, and because we're going to study something about camels, how a camel got its hump. This is a hump of a camel. We're going to find out how the camel got its hump. How the camel got his hump. This is the name of the chapter we are studying. Now, I want to show you another picture of a camel. It's a very similar picture of a camel that I drew. Okay, it is not. It's not that I traced it. It's a very similar picture just to show you that this is what a real camel looks like. And there was one problem with this camel. Okay, whatever you ask him his name, you ask him the time, you ask him the day, you ask him the date, you ask him whether he will do something, whether he will eat something. He used to just give one reply: hump. Okay, just one reply to every question. So obviously it felt a little insulting to the other animals. So as you can see, one more interesting thing you can see from its face, you can make out that this is a very lazy camel. Can you? The eyes are also closed, eyes are also not open, right? It's a very lazy camel. So the camel was supposed to work, it was not working. In the chapter that we're going to read, we're going to find out that earlier the camel did not have this, and how come it had this after his conversation with the four people. Okay, we had done the quiz yesterday. I asked you to do a quiz yesterday where you identified a camel, an ox, a dog, and a genie that comes out of the lamp. So now the story is of this time where the civilization had just started. Okay, man was just starting to progress from being an ape. So this was an ape, and we, with evolution, change into this. Okay, so this is the story of this time where we were still in the stone age. Okay, there were various ages of evolution. We were still in the stone age, and man was still domesticating animals. Domesticating animals means the man was still learning how to use animals for his own good. So this is the story of that time where man had asked other animals to go and tell that camel to work. So one by one, three animals went to him, and the camel, being a lazy and also a stubborn camel, just said this to every animal. Okay, so now what happens? We'll try to read and find out. In the beginning, when the world was new, so as I told you, this is the story of the beginning where the world was just starting. In the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. So he used to live in the middle of the desert, and he did not want to work. He was so lazy. All that he did was he ate sticks and thorn and prickles. So as you know, camels are not carnivores, they only eat plants. Okay, so they're herbivores, so they eat only sticks and thorns and prickles, because that is what you find in a desert. You don't find lush green vegetables and green bushes in the desert. You only find things like sticks and thorns and prickles. So he used to eat that, and he used to just sit there nicely without a hump. As you can see, he doesn't have a hump here. And when anybody spoke to him, he said hump, just hump, and no more. Presently the horse came. So every one by one, all the animals, the three animals that we are going to talk about here, come to him. Presently the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back. What is a saddle of a horse? Try to find out on Google and show me the picture. One person, the first person to show me the picture, will get no prize. You won't get any prize, don't worry. So presently the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, Camel, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us. Trot is the way in which horse walks. So the horse asks the camel to trot like them. Humph, said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. So what did the camel say? Humph. And the horse went away, and the horse went away to back to the man and told him everything. Then I went to the camel, I asked him to trot like the rest of us, and the camel said, Humph. He did not agree basically. Presently, the dog came with a stick in his mouth. So the dog again went to, as you can see in the picture, the dog went to the camel. He was like, and said, Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us. As you can find many videos on the internet, and people who might have a dog might have played this game called fetch with their dogs, where they throw something and the dog runs and gets it for you, and he gives it to you, and you throw that again. That is a game of fetch. So this helps the human being occupied, and humans also like playing this game with their dog. So the dog comes to the camel and says, Come camel, you also come and fetch and carry like the rest of us dogs. Humph, said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. Presently the ox came to him with a yoke on his neck. What is a yoke? I'll tell you right now, I'll show it to you. But then, just let's continue for now. The ox came to him and said, Camel, oh camel, come and plow like the rest of us. So what is the ox used for? Plowing the fields. And yoke is something that is used for plowing the field. Okay, so this thing that you see, this wooden structure, is a yoke, and this is the neck of the horse. This is where it's kept. It's tied to the neck, and this is what is used to pull the wooden structure which plows the field. And this is the use of the ox, and this is the same use that the ox is suggesting for the camel. But the camel said the same thing, humph, and the ox went away and told the man. So three animals came to the camel. The camel said the same thing to all three of them, and then they came back. All three of them told everything to the man. Now what did the man say? At the end of the day, the man called the horse, the dog, and the ox together. So they called all three of them and said, 303, I'm very sorry for you. But that humph thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now. So I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. So now इनका तो पोपट हो गया. ये सोच रहे थे कि एनिमल्स वापस आके मैन को बताएंगे, तो मैन will do something about the camel. He will at least go and domesticate him himself. But the man is doing something completely opposite. He's like, okay, let the camel not work because he is not working. If he wanted to work, he would have been here by now. But now he doesn't want to work. So now what you have to do is, you all three will have to work double the time so that the camel doesn't work. You will have to work double the time in order to make up for the work that the camel is not doing. So what will happen to these three? They obviously felt bad. That made the three very angry, because why would they do somebody else's work? Just like you don't do somebody else's work. If some work is assigned to you and you do that, and some other person is not doing the work assigned to them, you wouldn't do that work, right? Same thing is being felt by these three animals and made them very angry, and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. So they went to the edge of the desert so that nobody sees him and hears what they're talking about, and they held a panchayat there. All of you know what is a panchayat. And the camel came chewing cud. Now what is chewing cud? I will send you a little video in the WhatsApp group of what is chewing cud, and laughed at them. So the camel is very happy because he is not being asked to do any work, and instead all the work that the camel had to do is being asked to be done by these three animals. So the camel is obviously very happy. Now he's chewing cud, basically chewing like a chewing gum. So what animals do is they don't digest their food. Animals don't eat like us. Okay, I will send you a video on that. They eat a bit differently. Then he said humph and went away again. So the camel came back. They saw these three animals doing a panchayat. He was chewing cud. Okay, let me show you a video of what is chewing cud so you understand better. So what happens is that these animals don't digest their food in the stomach. Some of them digest half the food in their mouth itself. So we as human beings, what we do is we eat the food, we break the food into small pieces, and then we bring that to our stomach, and the stomach does the majority of the work of digesting that food. Now in animals that is not possible because animals eat a lot of food. So if they fill their stomach with full of food, okay, the stomach will take a lot of time to digest. So what they do is their mouth has a lot of saliva and all these juices that can half digest the food. So they eat the food, they bring it back to their mouth, and then they start digesting their food in the mouth, and then they send it back to the stomach for more digestion. So basically आधा काम मुंह में करते हैं, आधा काम फिर पेट में होता है. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम 25% काम सिर्फ फ्रूट को तोड़ने का. So this is chewing cud. ये देखो भैंस क्या खा रही है, मजा आ रहा है. ये देखो, ये मुंह खोल खोल के, ठंड में है ये, इसके मुंह से ऐसे धुआं निकलता है ठंड में, तुम्हारे मुंह से भी निकलता है. हाँ, ये देखो, देख रहे हो, खाना दिख नहीं रहा है ना तुम्हें, खाना इसके पीछे है, यहाँ पे दांतों से चबाई जा रही, चबाई जा रही, चबाई जा रही. बढ़िया लग रहा है देखने में. चलो देख लेना, और वीडियो देखना तुम लोग यूट्यूब पे गाय को खाना खाते हुए. ठीक है ना. अब हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. दैट मेड द थ्री वेरी एंग्री एंड दे हेल्ड अ पंचायत. सो कैमल तो अपना मस्त खाना खा रहा बैठ के, राइट, नोबडी इज बॉदरिंग हिम. उसका सारा काम बाकी तीन एनिमल्स को मिल गया है, वो तो और मजे कर रहा है. फिर बाकी एनिमल्स को और गुस्सा आ रहा है कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. नाउ व्हाट डू दे डू. Presently there came along the jinn who was in charge of all the deserts, rolling a cloud of dust. So now there comes another entry. Okay, entry किसकी होती है, जिन की. Jinn is also called a genie, which comes up, a blue air like figure, ghost like figure, okay, which fulfills all your wishes. I've already shown you the picture of a genie in that quiz, but let me show it to you again. So this comes up, right? You must have seen this in the cartoons. So this guy comes up and does something. What he does, you try to find out by reading on your own, or I will send you another video tomorrow morning and we'll find out what this genie does when all these three animals are in trouble.